segment hoist crane was mounted, which, circulating on the already assembled segments, would be responsible for hoisting the remaining segments of the stretch. The process of hoisting a pair of segments took 16 hours, but the complete installation, along with the 4 stays of the extra dosing which would go with them, took between 3 and 4 days, working 24 hours, depending on the length of the stay and of the number of strands, and consisted in: with the mobile crane fixed to one of the sides, the segment on that side was hoisted. A resin was applied to the facing of the previously placed segment, and when both were in contact, they were provisionally joined by means of pre-stressed bars. The mobile crane was moved along the deck and fixed on the other side. The segment of that side was hoisted, joining it to the previous one in the same way. The definitive pre-stressing of the segments was threaded and pre-stressed through the interior of the deck. It was concreted in situ using independent deck wing gantries, which remained from the wings of the previous segments. From the upper part of the deck, the stays of the extra dosing were hoisted, fixing them in the pylon saddle and inserting them into the deck. When the necessary resistance of the concrete was reached, they were pre-stressed with a single strand jack from the upper slab of the anchoring segment. Once the installation of the 42 segments of the stretch was finished, its joining with the previous stretch was begun. For that, a prefabricated segment, 3,18 meters long, was suspended from the mobile crane between both stretches, and 2 closing segments of 50 centimeters were executed in situ, in such a way that they fitted perfectly on the closing. After the provisional joining with pre-stressed bars, they were definitively joined to the deck by means of the internal continuity pre-stressing. In the area near the Romanian bank, the central caisson was executed in situ, supported by a falsework bent and 2 provisional piers. This stretch, of 52 meters in length, leant on a system of jacks for its later descent, so that the coupling with the deck of prefabricated segments could take place. The wings of the deck in this area were carried out with sliding gantries on the central caisson. Once the deck was completed, the finishing works and the assembly of the installations of the bridge were carried out, as well as the layout of the railroad on ballast, using guard rails in its whole length. One of the most complex elements in the design of the bridge, due to the movements, have been the expansion joints in the abutments, as much those of the road as of the railway tracks, these last being the most difficult due to the parameters required